Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we have Game 6 in a best-of-7 series show match between Root QXE, he's the blue Terran on the top of Lost Temple, and Liquid TLO, the purple Terran down on the bottom spawn position. Cross positions on Lost Temple and a TVT usually means a longer game. I'm not sure how these players are going to play. Tank Viking is kind of common in this cross position. I know I've mentioned it a couple times. We really haven't seen it too much in this series, as both of these players are not your normal laddering Terrans. But these Xel'Naga towers could come into play. We could see expansions all over the map. Islands might even come into play. We'll see what happens. QXE building his supply depot, TLO building his in their normal spots. Obviously they don't want to wall off. We haven't walled off the entire series against each other because Terran units actually are all ranged. Hellions, even though they kinda are melee, they're actually ranged units as well, so I mean they can shoot up cliffs and things like that, so if any vision is granted, having your buildings up in a walled off position really isn't that great of an advantage in TVT matchup. Usually you only see it against Zergs, and even then Baneling busts can prevent that from mattering too much. And TLO is a Zerg player now, so he understands that fully. But anyway, QXE, I think for the first time this series, scouts in this wrong position first. He's going to go to the close running spawns. Obviously you want to know if the enemy is close to you, because it kind of lets you know how many units you need to build right away. TLO also scouting that close running position first, and not going to find QXE there, obviously, as he's at the top spawn. But QXE is moving now to the bottom spawn. He will find TLO there if he continues along this path, and obviously he's rallied to do just that. He's not going to find anything too surprising there. Both players are doing the very standard Terran build. QXE is getting a Marine out just a microsecond quicker than TLO, and obviously not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but TLO is eventually going to reach QXE's main, not see anything out of the ordinary either. QXE gets a glimpse in there and sees nothing's too strange. He does have an SCV all the way across the map here, though, so he may try to do something sneaky with this SCV. Obviously, he left the base. Now he is going to try and sneak back in. We saw him do this on Metalopolis, actually, with some success. He was able to sneak his SCV back in, hide behind that smoke. This time he's not going to be so lucky, as this Marine is already waiting for him to try and come back in here. Marine out for QXE right now, trying to gun down TLO's SCV, and does just that. Now he's building a factory, but he did start the factory while TLO was still in there, so TLO is privy to that information. He's adding a factory onto his first barracks. Did I just say factory? Adding a reactor onto his first barracks, where QXE does not have an add-on at all. He's cranking out a couple of Marines pretty quick. May go for a fast tank and some more Marines, since he's not got an add-on yet. Actually, if he was getting a tank, he might even add a tech lab here soon and just swap these buildings. But actually, the factory is going to be finishing soon enough now that he can just get a tech lab on there. And 2 gas finished now for QXE. TLO also with 2 gas. TLO does not have a factory completed yet either. It's almost done now. QXE was just a little bit ahead there, starting on his starport before TLO is able to. There is a tech lab coming onto this factory, so wouldn't be surprised to see a siege tank roll out of there pretty quick. TLO, on the other hand, getting a tech lab of his own, did not do any building swaps or anything like that. He might soon switch the barracks in the factory, perhaps, if he wants to get some Hellions going. He is going to get a starport now, quite a bit behind QXE. But not sure if it's going to matter. These players could actually stay in their bases for the next, forever, and just stock up on units, keep macroing, eventually expand into their naturals, or they could just try to mass units for one big attack. We'll see. TLO actually doing something a little interesting here, moving out to the Xel'Naga tower with all of his units, while QXE remains in his base. He does have... No, he started to build something there and canceled it. Looks like he's going to get a Viking first and a Hellion out of this tech lab factory with pre-igniter upgrade. So he will have that blue flame to torch these Marines of TLO. TLO actually does not have really anything built out of his factory yet. This first tank is going to come out now. He is actually, I thought QXE was going to be the tank Marine player. It looks like TLO is actually opting for that strategy, and it could be difficult against a lot of Hellions with blue flames. We'll have to see how positioning and micro end up in this coming battle. But tank, of course, is very nice to have on your side, as it will do some nice damage to the Hellion from afar. Couple of Hellions out now. Pre-igniter nearly done. Is he going to try and scoot past the army of TLO into the main mineral line? I'm not sure. Always an option though. Just a great aspect of Hellions is their speed, so they could run past this army potentially, or to try to take it on head on and try and kill some Marines. Actually is going to go right past that army. TLO is already on the move. There's a tank here coming up from behind and a medevac here to ferry units if he chooses to do that. Both players did go for that 1-1-1. Actually 2 Marines straying and getting picked off. A 3rd Marine away from the army gets picked off there. 3 Marine kills for these 2 Hellions. TLO is forced to retreat now. If he was going to attack there, now he can't. He's 3 Marines weaker than he should be, and another Marine is going to get torched. All these SCVs being pulled to fight 2 Blue Flame Hellions. You see how that is not the best idea in the world. Oh my god, all these SCVs lining up to get slaughtered. I can't believe TLO is actually doing this. He's losing lots and lots of SCVs to only 2 Hellions here. Oh man, and he's pulling even more SCVs to help fight it off. The Hellion is now trapped though, and the Marines are able to finish it off with the help of a landed Viking, but that was a lot of damage done by just a couple of Hellions there. 15 Harvesters now for TLO compared to 28 for QXC. That is just a huge swing. 200 mineral investment. Let's look at army lost. I almost never look at units lost, but in this case it's just so dramatic, so severe. You can see 975 resources lost by TLO against only 200 for those 2 Hellions of QXC, and he's got 2 more on the field already doing some damage here. I'm not sure if he got any kills just yet. No, he hasn't with this pair, but obviously he got a good advantage against those workers earlier. Now he's going to find 2 Marines over here off by themselves, going to kill those off. Oh, actually he only gets 1, but then continues to move on into the main of TLO, while QXC moves in with Vikings. Not enough Marines here to kill off these Vikings before they can finish off that medevac. Hellion finds even more Marines rallied to the army of TLO. This tank is going to finish off that Hellion, but even more kills for QXC. You see those resources adding up even further now. 21 units lost against only 5 for QXC. All these Vikings are going to be able to land and support all these Marines and Hellions of QXC. I'm just really surprised TLO is actually forcing the issue here instead of staying at home, trying to expand and get a little bit of an advantage. So QXC lands all his Vikings as expected. He didn't do it behind or on top of the tanks' heads, but he could actually do that pretty much any time he wanted. Just swing around the back here and to do just that. More tanks and Vikings showing up for TLO. He's got a little bit of a contain going on, so he could start expanding, but he's so far behind in workers now, it looks like he's committing all his resources to more units. The Vikings for QSC lift off, kill off this lone Viking in the air, and he is going to probably drop them right onto the siege tank now and try to gun it down as fast as he can. Yes, I feel like these Vikings might be enough to actually finish off this force here. There's only 1 more tank left alive for TLO. He's at 38 supply against 56 for QXC. The worker count's got to be still in balance. Yes, QXC is up 31 to 22. He's got to like his positioning here. It's really just up to him now to attack or not. QXC probably knows that he's ahead just because he killed so many SCVs there without reprisal, and TLO wasn't able to do a whole lot there on his front door. So QXC just has to know that he's ahead and choose a wise time to attack. He brought 1 SCV along to repair these Vikings and medevac, but he doesn't even get a chance to attack the main of TLO before TLO GG's out of here. QXC wins the series 4-2. Very exciting TVT series. Glad I got to cast it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, stick around with me, and I'll be all moved into my new place by this time next week, and I'll be cranking out lots and lots of StarCraft 2 casts, so stick around.